first questions I just want to ask you guys, even Ben has been through the career, in terms of like an opener, everybody in here, I hope, has to pick up the phone. What is an opener that you use, the first thing that comes to your mind when you open up a conversation? Who's going to go first?
Cold conversation or?
Cold.
Cold. I found a really, really effective thing is when you're cold calling. I found a really, really effective thing, which I have done endless cold calls. When you're cold calling is, people do not want to take that call. So sometimes I find if you just say kind of in a forgiving voice, hey, just want to quickly introduce myself. Do you mind if I just have a quick 2 minutes? As simple as that, people will drop the barrier. And then have a quick, give them 2 minutes, and then ask to have a 10-minute conversation with that person. But nearly always, they'll give you that conversation. That's worked really, really well for me.
I made a couple of cold calls, no more. Normally, our approach is a little bit different. So we usually open with, do you know Emetria? So kind of steering off the, oh, this is a cold call, and can I have a couple minutes at a time, and actually steering the conversation into, oh, should I know Emetria? And kind of listening out for it a little bit. So that normally works really well for us.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a tough one. I think I just try and get my energy through straight off, and I think now selling into so I've sold into, finance people who are always tough and marketing people, but now I'm at the stage where I can be like, hi Jack, hi, it's Jack from Sales Hub, how are you? And like a salesperson, we're all pretty extroverted here, do you know what I mean? So normally you get quite a good response, so that's what I've been running with, and like, have you heard from Sales Hub before?
Cool, so it's the energy that opens it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So now just questions from the audience. Don't be shy, you're in sales. Who's got a question for one of the panellists? Put your hand up. Stand up. If you can just stand up, say your name and the company and ask a question.
Jake Mattock, converter. I've got a question for Sam. How did you, because you said you went from somewhere that you felt higher up into somewhere that you felt was a step down. How did you overcome that in your mind, that it actually wasn't a step down anymore and you were okay with it, to be there and actually motivated to be in that job rather than sitting there and being like, I've actually taken something less than one work?
Great question.
Yeah, that's a wicked question, thank you. So I think it was definitely to swallow my pride a little bit, but in my mind it was definitely take one step back to take two forward. And I think what I was saying earlier on about putting in the kind of the guiding principles and the foundational knowledge and being able to kind of perfect the role, and as Jack has done and being in several companies, I wanted to put that there first. I wanted to maximize my learning opportunity rather than just kind of going to the next cool thing. And I knew Pete was amazing and he was creating, like I was saying, a really safe space for everyone to flourish in. And I think I was happy going back because it was that safe space, because I knew that actually this is a place where I'm going to put the foundational knowledge in, and then I can, if it's a few months, no biggie, I can, that is long. So.
Thank you. Next question. We hope. Question? Did you have a question here? Was there one?
I had one, yeah. So my question was, Sarah, so you came to this realisation and awareness. Was there someone that kind of mentored you to get there, or did you get that on your own? Did someone help you?
Yes, somebody did help me. It was a number of different things. I think I knew in myself that, it was a bit of yin and yang. So when I was doing so well, I was like the best person in the room to be around, so energetic. But then when things weren't going my way, I was probably a bit of a neggy person in the corner sitting down and just fit grumpy. And I didn't really want that for myself, and I really wanted to inspire the other people on my team to do better and to lead by example. And it wasn't an easy thing to do. It's so hard and you have to do it all the time, but it's worth doing. So just think about it.
Thank you. Who had the hand up? You?
Yeah.
Can you stand up?
Lewis from SAP Concare. Just a question for Jack about the personas you mentioned, targeting those.
Yes.
Well, first of all, how did you start developing those personas? And two, with your testing, like how did you go about like iterating that and changing those improvements you found?
Okay, cool. So let's start with the personas. So I sell into sales tech, so there's 3 key personas that I target, and that's one, my most senior, my VP of sales, an SDR manager, well, there's a few in the room, and then a sales operations manager, all of which have very different messaging in which my company helps them. So I can create different, like go into a pitch with a different message, with different questions, and talk around a different value prop when we get down the line on the call. The next bit was on
Like so how you like you know when you deliver that messaging,
yeah.
How did you go about like sort of testing that and changing it as you went on to deliver those?
Well, I use a little tool called Sales Loft, which allows No, so that's only the part. So generally down the line, I've never had anything like this. So I just have to like basically have a Google sheet and then realise and track the data. So like you jot down being like, okay, this one's working, I'll use it for this week. And you can collaborate with your friend, like with your other colleagues. So in my last organisation, there was 6 or 7 SDRs. And we had one big like 30-page Google sheet. And then at the top of the sheet would be the ones we were using well and were working at the moment. And generally like the account executives will catch wind of what the SDRs were working well and be like, what's that email is? So yeah, that's how you can do it. Just collaborate and see what's working with everyone else.
Thank you. One more question. So just to say, like, I know there's a lot of questions. These guys are hanging around and they will take a corner. We're going to take a corner after we get out of the awards and just go and congregate around there so you get your questions asked. Well, yeah, once you've had a drink. So I'm just going to say, someone right at the back, the lady right at the back. Shout.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I mean, I think everyone can relate here that we all work with the account executives, right?
Yeah.
I guess from our perspective, it was needed, we do as well. So what would you suggest of how we could work better with them?
Good question. What's your suggestion around how to work better with your account executive or more effective?
So I think having like an account-based approach with your account executive where they can say, these are like my top 30 or 40 accounts, do a spreadsheet with them and like figure out 5 or 6 people in each of those companies that you want to go after. So these are going to be like their best deals. And then you can formulate a strategy with your account executive every week about, right, target this account and target these 5 people. And then at the end of the week, we can come back and see like, so who did they lead you down? Where did they go through? Does that help? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I would say something similar because I have a SDR that works with me, and because I was an SDR at Ametria, I had figured out the way to be successful in the role, so I just passed on my different cadences, you know, who to tap off, how to actually research them, how to actually personalise things, and how to make a really good at cold calling. So yeah, that's what I do.
I think there's also something to be said around, I don't know how many of you in the room, your account executives are your managers as such, but I think there's definitely something to say around kind of managing up as well as them managing down. So trying to understand their expectations of you in the role, how they accept feedback properly, how they want to kind of go into deals together, how you're going to work in tandem rather than it being kind of, you know, an SDR going in and then handing over completely. How can you work together and intertwine with each other in a natural way that doesn't seem kind of pushy for the prospect? I think those 3 things are really important.
Those are some good answers. Maybe a different perspective. So usually the account executives are pretty good. They know quite a few things, and I think for account executive, you want your BDR helping you to learn and develop. So listen to what they've got to say and show your willingness and eagerness to learn, and they'll help you most of the time. Like, it's nothing more frustrating than trying to show something and trying to help someone improve and seeing them not do that, not action that.
Also, just to say, like, you can't always have expectations. Some of you work at like a 1-to-3 ratio, 1-to-2, 1-to-4 even. It's not absolutely clear who you're aligned with. It's your responsibility. You can't expect handouts. You can't expect the AEs just to be lifting you up all the time. You can't expect a manager to be lifting you up. You literally have to own your role, and you owning it is how you own the conversation with your AEs. And those that are effective, and I see progress more rapidly, understand that dynamic between the people around them. You need to turn your AEs into superstars. And then you need to teach them to help them make sure you are seen as a superstar. Because if you're doing great work and no one else knows about it, you're not going to be able to progress. So make sure you own that relationship with your AE. Okay, can I have a round of applause for all of our speakers?